If you're in Logan or keeping an eye on what's changing here, this is your dedicated Update 9 for 2026. In the Greater Brisbane overview, I covered the broader housing pressures and regional trends shaping southeast Queensland, but Logan is seeing some very specific responses to those pressures right now, particularly around housing, community safety, and major long-term infrastructure. Let's start with housing. Logan City Council has endorsed a major crackdown on abandoned and derelict properties across the city at a time when Logan remains one of Queensland's tightest rental markets. Council research has identified an estimated 873 abandoned or derelict homes across Logan's urban suburbs, based on inactive dwellings recorded in the 2021 census, although officers warned the true number could be much higher. These properties range from long vacant houses through to fire-damaged or vandalised dwellings that have begun attracting crime, creating safety risks, and degrading neighbourhood amenity. There's also a significant financial impact. Council estimates each problem property that generates complaints costs around $20,250 per year to manage. Roughly $16,500 of that is non-recoverable administrative and enforcement expense, while only about $3,750, covering mowing, rubbish removal, pest treatment and graffiti cleaning, can typically be recovered from owners. Across hundreds of properties, Council estimates the total annual cost to ratepayers sits around $17.6 million. Under the endorsed reforms, Council will tighten local laws, prioritise prosecutions, establish a central register of abandoned homes, and create a dedicated task force focused specifically on enforcement. The worst properties will be fast-tracked for action, with closer coordination between Council, police, and emergency services. Importantly, councillors chose not to support lobbying for a land banking tax and did not endorse advocating for government-funded rehabilitation schemes for derelict homes. This move comes against the backdrop of a rental vacancy rate sitting at around 0.8% in Logan, well below the roughly 2.6 to 3.5% range generally considered a balanced market. Statewide vacancy remains close to 1%. Housing advocates argue even returning a small proportion of unused homes to the market could help ease pressure. However, many of these properties may require substantial rehabilitation before they are safe or habitable again. Logan isn't alone in dealing with abandoned properties. Councils across Greater Brisbane already use local laws to manage unsafe or overgrown sites, but what makes Logan's approach notable is the scale involved and the decision to formalise a dedicated register and enforcement task force. Whether this ultimately translates into additional housing supply or primarily improved neighbourhood amenity will depend on how many of these properties can realistically be brought back into use. Implementation will roll out in stages, with funding for targeted prosecutions expected to be considered as part of Logan's 2026-27 budget process. Moving to an Olympic and Paralympic Games related update, demolition has now officially begun at the former Logan PCYC site, clearing the way for construction of the Logan Indoor Sports Centre, one of the venues forming part of Queensland's $7.1 billion Games Venues Infrastructure Program. The new facility will deliver a 9-court indoor arena with capacity for around 7,000 spectators, making it one of Queensland's largest multi-purpose indoor sports centres. During the 2032 Olympic and Paralympic Games, the venue is expected to host indoor events such as ball sports, boxing, martial arts and para-sports, although final event allocations are yet to be confirmed. Beyond the Games, the centre is intended to provide long-term access for local schools, sporting clubs and community groups, helping address growing demand for indoor court space in one of southeast Queensland's fastest growing regions. The demolition works mark what government agencies describe as a key delivery milestone. Planning approvals are continuing, including federal environmental approvals under the EPBC Act, and the principal design contractor for the project is expected to be announced soon. The venue forms part of a broader program delivering 17 new or upgraded sporting venues across Queensland under the Games Independent Infrastructure and Coordination Authority, or GICA. With Logan's population continuing to grow rapidly, the long-term legacy use of facilities like this may ultimately prove just as significant as their Olympic role. Two quicker updates now. From 1st of July 2026, the Beenleigh Waste and Recycling Facility will no longer accept general waste. Residents bringing general waste after that date will be redirected to other facilities, such as Browns Plains or Carbrook. Council says the change is intended to reduce congestion and improve safety at what has become one of Logan's busiest waste sites. Weekly household waste collections, fortnightly recycling services, and annual bulky waste collections will not be affected. And finally, Logan Hospital is calling on local artists as part of its major expansion project. Artists with a connection to Logan are invited to register interest by the 11th of March to have artwork featured throughout the hospital's new 7-level building, scheduled to open in 2027. Installations may include wall decals, framed works, and canvas pieces across public areas such as waiting rooms and children's spaces. The expansion itself will add 112 beds along with new operating theatres, endoscopy suites, and chemotherapy facilities, with the art program designed to embed local identity into the upgraded healthcare environment. Taken together, these updates reflect a city managing growth pressures on multiple fronts: housing conditions, infrastructure investment, essential services, and community identity, all evolving alongside Logan's rapid population growth. If you arrived here from the Greater Brisbane overview, you can continue with the Ipswich or Moreton Bay updates, and if you started here, the full regional overview is also linked if you want the bigger Greater Brisbane picture shaping what's happening locally. Thanks for staying up to date with Logan. See ya.